All right. So first, I want to say welcome to everybody. I'm Deidre Johnson. So I'm the one that's hosting the Back to School, Back to Blogging free bundle and everything. And if you don't know who I am the host and also the founder of Mom's Blog too. So we help moms that start a blog and everything and help them really start from scratch and help them get off the ground with their blog. But today, I want to talk to another awesome person. This is our VIP contributor. This is Jessica. So, Jessica, talk to us about who you are, what you do, and tell us just more about you.
Sure. I'm Jess. I'm based in Northern California. I have two kiddos, ages 7 and 9. I started my career as a classroom teacher. I then was a co-founder of a nonprofit and spent a long time there. And then these days, I help folks get more organized at work and at home. So really kind of setting up systems and helping folks just find more wellness by creating systems for things that are bothering them is really my jam.
So I was gonna say everybody needs systems and organization in their life. So that's so awesome that you do that and everything. So talk to me. You said a little bit about you worked with a nonprofit. What was your real inspiration behind it? And then what do you see happening that when you help, your clients and everything, you help them do what they need to do?
Yeah, so the nonprofit, we were focused on education advocacy. So I was a teacher and I saw some things that were happening outside of my classroom that were impacting my kids. And so, myself and many other parents and teachers and educators wanted to just support kids to have what they needed by the bigger systemic structures. And so that was my way of helping there. And now my way of helping is really, I just want everybody to have access to more joy and more ease in their life. And I think that's actually the root of why I was a teacher and why I worked in education, is because I see the connection between education and quality education and the ability to have choices in life, to do what you want to do and to be who you can be, And so these days I try to, now that I'm a mom, and now that I spent, almost 2 decades leading teams, I realize that, there are things that it is hard to be a parent. It is hard to be a leader at work. Like, all of those things are so exhausting. And so I, love figuring out things that are working for me and my family and sharing those with other people. And so that's what I get to do. And it is honestly, it is the best. I think that the way I walk around the world is, I just like go around the world and I'm living my own life and being like, this is not working in my house. Like, my children are not getting themselves ready in the morning. So what are we going to do about that? We like figure out like a system for that. And then, share like, hey, this is something we're trying, like, and other folks say, oh, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And I love to share what we're working on, and then things then have to change, because kids keep growing up and, you move to a different home or new school, new basketball team, and everything shifts. And then you got to figure out the new systems, or just sharing little ideas for joy. I was chatting with one of my besties the other day. He's going on a road trip. And I was like, okay, before we get off the phone, I have some road trip ideas for you, and I was like, okay, you got to get this app and you got to get one of those boxes of conversation cards and put it in the front seat. And he was like, those are great tips. And so then, I put them in my email newsletter. I have an email newsletter called the Friday Five. And this is really just what I've been doing this my whole life, where I like get on group text and I'm like, look at this, you everybody. Like, I love this butter dish. You should get it too, or, did you read this article? Or, ooh, I'm trying this thing. And it has just been, it's so fun to get to now share all that stuff with thousands of people who read that newsletter and say, hey, here's like my favorite app for road trip, because it lets you find, what restaurants and gas is coming up at your next exit. Or you can search and say, okay, how far till Taco Bell? Okay, can we make it 90 miles to get Taco Bell, and we need to do McDonald's in 15? What do you think? And you get to decide.
Important things.
Exactly. But being able to share tips like that is really helpful. I was actually at the dentist this morning sharing tips with the person taking my dental x-rays about her email account. because she was like, oh my gosh, my email is so full and Google keeps wanting me to buy, more storage. And I was like, I know how to fix this. And then let me tell you about it. So I get to do that now for my job, and it is lovely.
That is amazing that you can, like, really, it's real world. You're like, I have these tips and I can help you with your life. Everybody really just wants their life to be what, simpler, better, and just have a better quality of life overall. So it's those little things that we're thinking, okay, can I get to Taco Bell? Can I get to McDonald's? Can I get to Chick-fil-A? How long is it going to take? And then, like you mentioned before, how do I, make sure my email is not like totally just got stuff everywhere and it's just overwhelmed with
Yes,
everything. So tell me now,
totally.
I see it's jessicaeastmanstewart.com. That's your website, right?
That's right.
So tell us about some of the products you have on your website and what can help people.
Sure, sure. So the most popular thing on my website is definitely the guide to weekly family meetings. And so this is just a guide that tells you how to start having a weekly family meeting, what to discuss, when to have it, how to avoid some common pitfalls. And this is really about getting the the folks in the family on the same page about the logistics and the priorities of what's going on in the home. And it can just be adults. In fact, I recommend folks, if you've got either a single parent just focusing on like a meeting with yourself to get organized for the week, or if there's multiple adults in the family, just focus on the adults. And then depending on the kid's age, you can actually bring the kids in. But sometimes kids don't need to be there for the whole piece. And so people are really into the weekly family meetings. That's a super popular one. I think the second most popular is how to get your email under control in 60 minutes. And that's a course where I just teach people, it's specifically for Gmail users, who, and I've led this workshop live many times, and I've had people come with like 90,000 emails in their
Oh
inbox,
my goodness.
or just a lot, hundreds,
Yeah.
thousands, tens of thousands. And I basically take folks through a system that works really well to kind of get the email under control, and also teach them specific things for their specific issues. So, if you keep getting a notification that your email storage is full, like I'll tell you how to easily find the biggest stuff that's taking up space, so you can like not just go through and eliminate emails one by one. That would take you hours, but like there's a way to just search for the biggest things, where it might be like some random big attachment that you got 10 years ago that you definitely don't need anymore. And if you get rid of that, you'll be good for 2 years, because that's actually taking up most of the space, So I teach people how to do that, how the difference between archiving and deleting. And I talk about some of the great tips in Gmail, like how to use Gmail snooze, and other tips, and then how to both get it under control and then keep it under control. And some tips like I recommend folks have a throwaway email address, for example, for online shopping. Like start it today if you're not already doing that. But anytime you have to enter your email and you're like, I don't really want to give this person my email, because they're about to send me 1,000 emails, then you have a fake email. Well, it's not fake, it's real, but you don't worry about it. It can be super messy because you're not going to worry about it. You don't log into it. The only time you go into that special account is when you're like, I need a tracking number for my thing that I ordered. Then you go, you search for that thing. And otherwise, your regular email can stay more pristine, and like clean, because you're not getting emails from, I don't know, Walmart every day. And so that's my,
Yeah, I know.
there's so many tips in that one. So that's another popular one. So I love sharing that. I have also courses on how to plan a week, how to plan your week for work, and then adjust as things change, because nobody in the history of work has ever planned their week and then had it go exactly as they planned, like never once. And so how do you adjust when things come up that you didn't expect? And then I also have a resource about how to have a polish day, which is my idea. It can even be a polish week, to take time where you don't have meetings, and it might be a couple days, it might be a day, it might be a week, and you take that time to really polish up your work systems. And so it's got templates and spreadsheets. If you wanted to have a whole team do it together, you could do that, and that just really helps folks kind of clean up their work systems and do all those little things that they might not otherwise do, like clear off their desk, get all those files off their laptop, desktop, and finally update the software that you keep saying later, in the bottom of your computer.
Yeah, several times.
Exactly. So the polish day has got a bunch of ideas for what you might do, and folks can kind of take out what doesn't apply to them and use the ideas to really kind of polish things up and then be more effective every single other day moving forward. So those are some of the things. I also have fun, like, like physical products people can get. Like, this is how I plan my days. This is the
so
summer version.
cool. I love
I have
those.
I have a fall version, but every day I do here's my meetings, and I write the time, my must do's, my maybe do's, and then this is where I just jot notes throughout the day. And so this is how I've been planning my days for years. And so I wanted to make a pretty version. So I have a fall version, a winter version, a spring version, and a summer version. And this is what I use. So I just decided, hey, let's make those available for everybody so folks can get stuff like this, and then other, little stickers about how to manage your email that you can stick on your laptop to remind you.
That's so cool. And everything you're saying is so relevant now, especially, with kids going back to school. And that's why, it's called the back to school, back to blogging free bundle, because
Right.
it's not just the kids going back to school, but it's kind of like the parents are going back to school with them. Like,
Yes.
we're trying to get back into the routine. We're trying to remember, like, oh, okay, this what happens now when school starts again. And then we have to also get like organized along with them. So I love it that
Totally.
you have all those different products and resources for people. And so tell us a little bit more about what is the freebie that you have in the bundle.
Yeah, so it's the Plan Your Week course. And so I'm really excited to share this because it's a course that talks about, why your brain is such a good place to have ideas and such a terrible place to keep them. And so you've got to get them out of your head. The only people who can really keep things in their head are people with very, very little to be responsible for. And pretty much no mom fits that category. Like if you have maybe if you're like a high school kid who's not involved in much, maybe you can keep all the things you need to do in your head. But once you get into career, once you have kids, it's too much. You got to get it out of your head. And so, we talk about, you got to get it out. It doesn't matter, honestly. There's so many places you could put things to stay organized, and digital, your phone, your paper, there's not one way, but I talk about kind of pick a way and here's what you need. And, then we also talk about where to find all the things you might need to do, because they could be hiding in so many places, right? I have to-dos in my phone reminder system, in my email. People email me and need to do things. I have to-dos literally sitting on my kitchen counter. My daughter gave me a necklace this morning that's broken, and she's like, "Could you please help me fix this?"
Right.
So there's a to-do. It's on the kitchen counter. There's also a to-do in my front car seat, which is a UPS box that needs to be taken. So there's to-dos in Slack for the PTA that I'm involved with at school. There's a Slack channel where I have to keep in touch with that. Folks have it at Asana at work, or in their Salesforce, or, in Google Chat, or, they might use an app with their partner, and there's so many different things, and it is just overwhelming. So we talk about getting clear where all the things might be hiding that you need to do, and then capture them and get them organized. And then it also talks about the importance of a very brief daily planning practice, where you just take a moment to say, hey, what do I got to do today? And for me, that looks like maybes, must, and meetings. I really like alliteration, but what are the things you got to do in a given day? Because that's where the magic comes. Because if you tried to plan out your week and said, this is what I'm gonna do on Monday, this is what I'm gonna do on Tuesday, this is what I'm gonna do on Wednesday, that's fine. If you want to plan that way, it's not going to work out perfectly. And so you can plan that way, but then you're also going to have to revisit and say, oh, remember when I thought I was going to get that done on Tuesday, but then I had to go pick up the kid 3 hours early because they had a stomach ache, also known as they were hoping that if they got home, they could do screen time, and so then you suddenly didn't get that thing done. So the daily planning is a strategy where you can say, okay, because I did the weekly planning, I actually have clarity on what I got to get done. And I can more easily say, that's got to go to next week. That's got to, and because you've gotten organized, it's a lot easier to pivot in the moment when somebody's sick or something happens or something comes up at work, or, your site breaks if you're blogging and suddenly your site is not loading and you've got to spend half a day figuring out what's going on, and you were going to write this new freebie. And now you're like, well, not doing that. And so, life happens to all of us. And so planning actually, even though you plan knowing that it's not going to happen exactly the way you do, the fact that you have the plan allows you to then say, okay, the site broke down. That today didn't go as planned. So what am I going to do
Yeah, what am I
to
gonna
like
do now,
move things
right?
around? Yeah. And you don't have it all in your head, this vague sense of, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. You have a sense of like, okay, this is what I do. Let me tell this person I can't do this till later, et cetera, et cetera. That course also has a lot of fun extras in it, like tips about, how to have a thought catcher, how to have a later list, and some other ideas that help people remember things that they can't do anything with right now, that are like to-dos that are not relevant today because they can't be done yet. They need to be done later. You want to get those Beyonce tickets. They don't go on sale till Thursday. So, like where do you keep that one? Because looking at it 3 weeks ahead on your list is useless.
Right.
So where do you do that? So we talk about those. And here's a fun bonus. Everybody who's in this bundle and gets the free Plan Your Week course also will get essentially the chance to buy my email course, which is normally $37 for like $9, I think.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a really exciting one too. So folks might want to also pick up the email course because it is like, people love that one. It gets a lot of positive feedback. So I'm really excited to share that. If I could teach a live email workshop twice a day, I would do that.
Yeah.
That is my favorite thing.
And we all need that. Like everything you're saying, like we all need help, like with the email, we all need help with the organization, everything. And that's why I love, like when you said, oh, okay, I have this available for the freebie or these different resources. I mean, that's just perfect for everyone, especially for moms, that are on the go and trying to figure out everything. And so tell people, of course, like where can they find you? Where can they locate you? Like if they want to work with you or find like all these really cool resources, because we all need help with organization and productivity. Tell us how we can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Joyfully Managed Family. So folks can find me there. I'm daily tips there. And I love being there, and I'm, in stories sharing my day. My website is jessicaeastmanstewart.com. You can go to /everything to find literally everything. All of my freebies, all my paid resources, all of my podcast episodes I've been on, like they're all captured there in categories. You could even find like a little page where I keep my favorite little things I bought on Amazon that are fun.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's a fun page. And then if folks are on LinkedIn, I love sharing tips there for like work stuff. And so I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Jessica E. Stewart there.
Okay, that's so awesome. Well, anything else you wanted to add or anything else you want people to know about you or what you do or anything you want to say to anyone that's watching this and that are going to say, hey, I need to definitely get her freebie, but anything else you want to share?
Yeah, well, when you get my freebies, you'll get an email from me. And if you reply, that goes straight to me. Maybe someday it will get overwhelming, but these days I get all those emails. And if you've got a question, like what about this? Or, just want to say, hi, I really like this course and I'm in this, city or this country. I love to hear from folks. So yeah, you could be in touch with me. You could send me a DM on LinkedIn or Instagram. Like I'm a real human being and I get my best ideas when people that are in my audience reach out and ask me questions. It often ends up being one of the things that helps the rest of my audience the best, because I'm like, oh, okay, let me think of my answer for that. And then I'll share it. And then lots of people get support. So be in touch. I'd love to hear from folks.
Well, that's so awesome. Well, we appreciate you and everything. So again, she is one of our VIP contributors. This is Jessica Eastman Stewart. So you can check her out at jessicaeastmanstewart.com. And of course, grab your freebie. You'll see it, of course, for our bundle and everything. You'll see where her freebie is. She's right there at the top. So you can grab it and everything. And I just want to again, thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for being a part of the back to school, back to blogging free bundle. We're so excited to have you. And I can't wait to see how this is going to help so many people, because you just gave me so many ideas. I can't wait to check out all the resources and the tips on your website and also your freebie, because like I said, it is definitely, I'm going to say it for all the moms out there, a struggle with getting the kids back to school and for us getting back in the routine. Like I said, I don't think it's more the kids, it's the parents and the moms and the dads are like, oh yeah, this is what we got to do now. And this is how we got to organize our life now that kids are back in school.
That's right. That's right. Well, it was lovely to chat today. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, have a great day and everything. And again, thank you everybody so much for watching and for tuning in. Bye.